Hello, this is Dragon Tank 1400, and this is All Grown Up Season 1, Episode 11 review. The episode title is It's Stupid, Cupid. So basically what they have is like one overarching plot, and then from that overarching plot, the other subplots get developed. So the main plot, the one that's like over them, that's like the catalyst for the other plots, is Dill runs into this guy named Little Q, and basically he's Cupid. He uses a hacky sack, and every time he hits someone with a hacky sack, they fall in love with the first person they see. So what ends up happening is he's like kind of off his game or whatever, and he keeps hitting like the right person, or sometimes even the wrong person, and they keep seeing the wrong person. So basically, for the subplots, what we got going on here is Chucky wants to ask Nicole to the dance. If you remember Nicole, she was in Chucky's in Love episode with the whole Chongo incident. And by the way, I do like them referring to that incident like past episodes in present episodes. Chucky says, "Oh, I think Nicole's finally over that Chongo incident." So I really give them props for that. A lot of cartoon shows don't like refer to previous episodes in current episodes. It's like a little thing, but it definitely gets a plus for that. And so basically, he wants to ask Nicole out, and Little Cupid gets hits Nicole with the hacky sack. And Tommy she sees Tommy, and basically she falls in love with Tommy. So they got that going on. And then the other like plot, there's two of them. Basically, the Little Q mistakenly hits Sean. Angelica wants to ask Sean to the dance. Sean falls for Susie, and if you remember Sean, I think he was in the last episode, The Old and the Restless. Angelica basically likes him and wants to date him or whatever. And so Sean likes Susie, and then we get like a third thing, that's he mistakenly hits Z, and Z falls for Susie. And if you remember in Bad Kimmy, like Kimmy kind of likes Z, so we kind of get that going on. So, and then like I like that everyone who was in this episode, everyone played a part. I already mentioned like majority of the characters. The only characters that like of the main 8 are left is Phil and Lil, and even they kind of had a few lines, and we see that Lil was like the third in charge of the decorating committee or whatever, and she was kind of OCD about a lot of things, how everything had to be perfect. So we get a little bit on Lil's character, even though she wasn't. Like Phil and Lil were obviously the least important characters of this episode, but even we get to see like a little bit of their characters. So, basically, Dill gets Little Q back on his game, and at the end, everyone ends up dancing with who they're supposed to be dancing with a few extras just to throw them in there. Tommy ends up dancing with Lil, which I don't think really means anything. And then Susie dances with Phil, but that definitely doesn't mean anything. So basically everything turns out in the end. Now with this episode, we get to see like some character development from. We don't get to see a whole lot of character development, but we do get to see some from Chucky and Kimmy, and we get to see like more of people's more of like everyone's character basically in this episode. So on to Chucky and Kimmy. Both of them were like really heartbroken that their best friends stole their crushes. So they get mad at their best friends. Chucky gets mad at Tommy, and Kimmy gets mad at Susie, and they don't believe them when Tommy and Susie both tell Chucky and Kimmy that they had nothing to do with their crushes liking them. So basically what we see here is kind of the moral of the story, and Susie actually sums this up great. She says something down the lines of, isn't that the point of having a best friend? They believe you even when all the evidence points against you. Like, basically that whole trust thing, that you should really trust those who you know. Like, basically that old saying, trust is easy to destroy but hard to gain. So it takes time to build, or however that saying goes, and I really think that applies here. Tommy and Susie really gave in their, as far as we know, because we haven't seen like all the details of their life. We just seen like their life as babies and their life and all grown up until this point. So we haven't seen like the in between Rugrats and all grown up. However, it would seem like they gave no reason for the other one to distrust each other, and this is where Chucky and Kimmy's character grow. They realize this. It's really Susie convincing Chucky of this, and then Chucky convincing Kimmy of this, that they should believe their best friend over with the evidence, even though the evidence is pointing against them. Now, from a Christian standpoint, this is important to trust people, because there are times when all evidence points against the person, but the person really didn't do it. However, there are other times where people manipulate other people, and they shouldn't be trusted. So it's really, you really have to judge for yourselves, and really take, from a Christian point of view, you really have to, take God's perspective, praying and everything like that. And you should really, you should really be there for the people that have been there for all your life. Like, them. Like, some of my family members, I can tell when they're lying and when they're not, just because I know them. You won't be able to tell all the time, but it's really important to, like, the people that to trust them, even if all the evidence points against them, to be able to tell if they're telling the truth or lying. Like, it's important. It's a good moral to have to trust your old good friends. New friends, it's like, you shouldn't just trust them blindly. Like I said, trust takes time to build, but it's easy to destroy. So there's definitely time to build that trust and get to know the people. But when you're someone's best friend, it's you should really trust them. So I really thought the moral of the story was good. The overall, like, comical sitcom thing of person falls for the other, there was a lot going on in the episode, which is why I spent a lot of time explaining what was going on. And I thought it was really good. We got to see more of Angelica's character and how her personality is. She's kind of very, like, demanding, and very, at the end she's like, dance with Sean, and Sean just like, okay, dance, whatever. She's very I don't know how to really describe it. She's demanding and very, almost like controlling, and just like, she's gonna get what she wants no matter what. So it was good to see Angelica's character a little more. It was really good to see, like, Susie's character, how she was upset about Kimmy not trusting her, and she didn't want these guys' attention. It was just that whole scene was, I don't know, it was well done. The writing was well done. It was really, they did a really good job implementing, like, all the characters, except for Phil and Lil, but they had a lot of characters. I mean, they even had 3 characters that weren't even part of the main, like, cast. Nicole, Z, and Sean. I thought they did decent with their characters. Of course, they were just like catalysts for the plot to move forward. They didn't really get any time to shine themselves, but the other characters, they made it so the other characters that were influencing them got time to shine. So I thought the episode was really well done, and because I watched every episode before I started these reviews. When I rewatched this episode, I laughed my head off. This time I didn't laugh that much because I knew what was going on. Like, I think the first time you watch this episode is definitely the best, because I just think it's just funny. I mean, it's just really funny. But, like, once you know what's happening, and like, because this episode I didn't really let it take me for a ride like some of the other great episodes. I was kind of analyzing it. There's a lot to go on. There's a lot that goes on, and it's just well done. It flows really well, and I really like how it's all related to this plot with Dill and Little Q, and we get to see more of Dill's, like, he wants to meet up with aliens, and we'll get to see that actually in the next episode. So it was good building from this episode to the next episode to see Dill's him wanting to interact with aliens to the next episode, which I don't want to spoil things if you haven't seen it. Probably most people who are watching this has, but we'll just see more of that, a lot more of that in the next episode. That's actually like the main plot. So anyway, so back on the review. Probably already know what I'm going to say. It's a 10 out of 10 for sure. You know, I didn't mention this, but the transitions were pretty good too. The music was pretty good. So 10 out of 10. It's really all I can say about the episode. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. See you guys in the next one. Bye.